everyone, it's Jackie Williams, and tonight I want to share with you a little bit about the ice cream corner suite, and we'll do a little project with that, and we'll focus on stamping tonight. But let's go over to my work desk and I'll show you the ice cream corner suite. Okay, so of course we have a stamp set, and this time instead of dies we have a punch, which I think is fantastic. I always personally love the bundles that have punches. They're just so quick and easy. Now, one thing I do want to point out about the stamps is they are what we call distinctive stamps, which means this shading that you can see on the picture, it actually is going to stamp that way. That's quite deliberate so that you have this nice variation in the color, and that is actually just a feature of the actual stamp itself. So you haven't done anything wrong if it stamps what you might call a little bit splotchy. It's actually designed to stamp just like the picture on the front. And it is a two-step stamp, which we're going to do quite a bit of stamping tonight. So to show you how to put together a really cute card with just ink stamps and paper, pretty much. And then you've got these great words with this fun font that are all kind of birthday and, I care about you sort of sayings. We'll put that to the side. And then, of course, we also have papers. And I want to show you something kind of fun about these papers. Oh, I only have 5 of the 6 sheets because there's another sheet that I have used every bit. I couldn't even find a scrap of it. So you've got these fun images that you can see. It's got that nice watercolored look that you can use these as just a print in itself, or you can even scissor these out and use them on your project. And then you've got some nice solid prints. But on the other side, we have this print here, which is perfect for punching out your ice cream cone. What are those? I guess just the cone of the ice cream cones. And so you've got that all ready to go. And then these particular prints, let me just move that one out of the way. They just look like a bunch of watercolored splotches, which you could use them like that. But they are designed so that you can actually punch your ice cream scoops out of these and get that multicolored look. Or you could even cut that sort of ice blocks shape out of these and you get, again, that watercolored look. And they would all be a little bit different, and you've got these different colorways. So I love how innovative they're getting with their papers. And then we also have in this suite the Blackberry Bliss sheer ribbon and these fun ice cream sprinkles, which are great for shaker cards, for adding a little embellishment on top of your ice creams. And they're like little Fimo, if you know what that is, little Fimo. They're kind of rubbery, little Fimo circles, and just these fun, nice fun colors. So this is the project I want to share with you tonight. Again, it's just all stamping. There's no die cutting. Actually, there's just a little bit. I'm just going to move that over to the side. So we've got our card base, and as usual, but I'll say it anyway, my card base is, I always have to think it through, 5.5 by 8 1/4. And that's just very slightly different than your standard card base if you're in New Zealand or in the United States, or A4 or Imperial. But that size, either, no matter what your paper you've got, you can fit that size. So I've cut these papers, and these are 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, I want to say. And I have embossed them already with the brick embossing folder, and you can center it. I'm going to just move it. No, I think it's going to bug people if I move it over to the side. I'll just leave it in the center. And my ink pad's not very juicy, but I left it that way when I discovered that because I actually want a light image. Okay, then I'm going to use the Bermuda Bay. I better open that. And this one is quite juicy, so I'm going to go over to my scrap paper and stamp it off. And this time, just line it up over top and stamp over that Blackberry Bliss. And you will get kind of a third color in between, but it's a nice color. And this is what we call two-step stamping, where we're stamping over top of each other and creating an image with more visual depth. And then I'm going to take the little sprinkle stamp or splatter stamp and ink that up in Blackberry Bliss and just stamp that over top. This just adds so much. I mean, if you look at these ones compared to that one, these ones just, well, in my opinion, look so much more interesting and so much better. Okay. And amazingly, I didn't stamp the wrong ink pad even once. Then we've got this little drop, or little drip, I guess, of ice cream. So I'm going to ink that up in the Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to use my sponge dauber on the Blackberry Bliss and just sponge a little bit on the edge so that I get a multicolored look. And then I'm going to stamp that off, or ideally you'd clean it. And then do that again. That one turned out really well, I think, because I stamped it off first, so that's a good idea. And then we'll do one more. Let's do it kind of here. Now I'm going to find my card base. Where did I put it? Here. So I could put it in the middle. I'll give you ladies a choice, or people. It might not be all ladies. In the middle, kind of off to the side, or kind of like in the corner there. Let's see what you like. And in the meantime, I'm going to add a little bit of a different element than I had on the first one. Then I'll show you both and we'll compare. So that Blackberry Bliss ribbon is fairly wide. Let me grab that. I don't know what that measurement is, but it's fairly wide. So I've cut off a length and I've used my scissors and cut up the middle. And I did have one tied already, but it's on the floor. Okay, and then I just tied that into a bow. And I'm going to grab some glue dots and I'm going to just put that on the middle. Okay, then we're just going to take our ribbon scissors. I do recommend that you have a pair of scissors that's just for ribbon, and then you hide them from anyone else you live with. Okay, then we'll add our words. So what I did there, similar to well, actually this exactly the same as the one I showed you, is I have stamped it and white embossed on Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Sorry, I'm fiddling with that. And I do recommend, if you've got all your gear out, I'm just going to scroll down so I can see the comments. If you've got all your gear out, you might as well stamp a few of them so that one, if you can see that middle one didn't turn out the best, but then you just have a couple more, and I just either put them in a little container on my desk, or I just put them actually inside the stamp set, so next time I go to use it, there's some words already there for me. I mean, you've got the stuff out, you might as well make 3 or 4 at least, especially if you're using a scrap piece of paper. I just use the rest of the scrap, and then as you can see, I'm just scissor cutting that out, so no dies for this one. And it looks like we are 50-50 middle or in the center. So there we go. I'm looking for this. So these are adhesive strips, and I've been using them in my class recently because we were doing a shaker card. And these are great, just exactly what they say they are. They're strips of foam adhesive, and it just makes it really quick and easy, particularly for shaker cards. But we're going to use them tonight behind this little word strip. I've cut that too long. And I'm kind of doing a no-no. I would normally say don't ever cut adhesive with your good scissors. Actually, I wouldn't normally say that. I would always say that. I just don't have my other scissors here. And then I'm just deciding where I want to put this. I think I will just put it right over the bow, like that. Okay. Middle, it looks like 3 said middle, 2 off center, and the other one is off center, so we will do it in the middle, although my personal preference is off center. But that's just me. Okay, and then on this one, we're going to use the Artistry Blooms sequins. So these sequins, and I got a new pack, so I do have the pink ones here. And they really match with all sorts of colors because they're multicolored. I don't know if we want we might want the blue sequins just because we already have quite a bit of Blackberry Bliss in here. So I think we'll go with the blue ones this time. So we'll go, we'll put a big one here. Sometimes the big ones are really quite big, and so if you kind of hide them underneath something, then they feel maybe not quite so big. And then I'm going to put the other one here. And if you're wondering why I chose to put it there, it's because I'm looking for that triangle. So that's a good way for sometimes when you're trying to place things and want them to look random, but at the same time, right? Just work in triangles, and that seems to work quite well. Okay, let me pull this other one back. So the first one I did it without a ribbon. I put the words on the third ice block instead of the middle one. I off-centered the stamped part. And instead of doing sequins, I actually used the, let me find it, the shimmery crystal effects on the little drips, so they're shiny. I think you can see that just barely. And then when I went to put the sequins on, it just felt like it was a little bit too much, so I just left it and thought I'll do sequins on the other one and not the shimmer paint, or not shimmer paint, the shimmer effects. And then inside you can just do another ice block and the same papers, and I just put treat yourself inside. So there we go. Other than the stitching around the ice blocks, there's no die cutting on this. It's just ink, stamps, paper, and some embellishments, of course, because we don't usually, well, I don't usually make a card without embellishments. And let me show you some other samples using the ice cream suite. So this one is a card that I did not make. This is a shaker card that was taught by Fiona Sysum at the Hamilton Extravaganza. So, and that's using the ice cream corner papers. Okay. And then this one I did make, but it was taught to me by Sally Williams at one of our gatherings, and so she presented it and I made it, and I thought it was just such nice colors and a nice stack of ice cream scoops. And you can see we've used the two-step stamping on there as well. And then this one was a swap given to me by TJ Horrell at a camp, and this is using the ice cream scoops as Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Isn't that adorable? Just turning them around the other way and using, you know, completely different colors, and using the little ice, making the little Mickey and Minnie Mouse ice cream blocks sort of thing. Isn't that cute? And so happy. I love this one. Quite innovative. And then this is another one that I did that I taught in classes early in the year, although it was only January, but it feels like a long time ago. So these are the tins that we had in this last year's mini catalog. And so we just decorated up the tin using the ice cream scoops. And this is what the ice cream scoops look like when they're punched out of the actual ice cream corner paper. And those fun little sprinkles. And then inside I've got this little mini album. So let's see if I can get that on the camera. So it's just this fun, well, I guess it could be an album. It could also just be a card, and you could just tuck little notes in here, or maybe a folded bill of money or something. Anyway, so it could be little photos or just a really amazing card, and maybe tuck a little something in the tin as well as a little gift.